Hey there YouTube friends, this is Carrie with Any Day Blessings, and today's video is going to be more of how we're going to use it sort of video. I did do a flip through of the Trail Guide to U.S. Geography from GeoMatters. Feel free to check that out on my channel. But I told you in that video that I was going to be pulling in other resources as well and not using certain things that came with the program. So I'm going to kind of walk you through that now because I do really love Knotgrass and I do really love Memoria Press, and I wanted to find a way to put it all together but not drive myself crazy. And I think I've done it. I hope so. I'm going to pull this apart, pull this away for now, and just kind of open up this guide and show you how we're going to do a week's worth of lessons. Now, I will show you the schedule they have here. I already showed this before, so I'm not going to go too much in depth in this because I did do another video on this flip through. But this is the schedule that we intend to follow, 2 states per week. That would be 25 weeks of instruction, and we follow a 36-week school year. So I am going to be bringing in some review weeks based on region, because this program is walking you through the study of the states by region. So there are 7 regions. So what I will do is I will do the 25 weeks according to this schedule, but then once we finish a region, I will stop and do a review week, okay? I'm not going to go over those review weeks and my plan for those in this particular video because I'm still kind of formulating that. I think what I'll probably do is do a couple of those review weeks and then share that with you, probably on the blog, but I might do a video here too. I haven't decided. We're not there yet. But what I am going to do in this video is walk you through the typical week, the 2 states per week plan that we have. So the first week that we'll start off with is studying the New England states, and you'll notice that they kind of go through the states in almost in order, at least geographically speaking. You know, they're moving from this the eastern side to the west side. So if you do like to do a chronological look at, you know, when the states were adopted into the Union and kind of study them that way, this would be pretty easy to adopt to that. Okay, so the New England states, the first 2 we study in the very first week, we will study Maine and Massachusetts. So they recommend that the very first day that you do, and when I say they recommend, I'm going by, again, this schedule here, okay? So they recommend that you start off each day doing these 5-minute drills. Now, I will tell you that there are little, I'm going to bring this in here. There are little icons. You see those? Those are important to take note of because those are questions based on the ages of your children. So you see there's only 1 or 2 questions per day that you're going to ask as kind of your icebreaker, your interest grabber, getting your child involved and ready to learn about the state you're going to do. It's kind of that warm up, if you will. So this is something we plan to do orally. So we will, day 1, what is the capital of Maine and what country is north of Maine? And we will use the book that they recommend for that part, the Desk Atlas of the United States. And this is an absolutely gorgeous book. If you missed my flip through of this, please go check it out because this is so pretty inside, okay? So we will get out this book and we will answer those 2 questions as kind of our warm-up. Then we'll get into the activities. Now, what they recommend over here on the schedule is that you spend 15 to 20 minutes mapping the first state. If you look here, these are again broken up by the different icons, and the little chicken footprints there, those are the activities that correspond to my son's age. So we are only labeling these 3 things: drawing and labeling the Kennebec River, label Canada, New Hampshire, the Atlantic Ocean, and label Augusta with a star. That may not take my son 15 to 20 minutes. So these guidelines you may find aren't what will actually happen in your homeschool. So just kind of keep that in mind when you're looking at this. And then it says 15 to 20 minutes trailblazing the same state. Now the trailblazing exercises, if you read the front matter here, those are really open to you. They provide a list of things that you could do to start learning and researching about the state. Study the coast of Maine, learn what industries there are, name some famous people from Maine, and it gives you some ideas of what to look for. Make a timeline of Maine starting in 1607. These are all suggestions of what you could do. Read about Maine's name, state symbols, and motto. Tell what you learned. So these are all things that you could put in a loose leaf notebook or spiral bound notebook and kind of create your own thing. You can get the state workbook or the state notebook to record these things. They have pages here in the appendix that kind of show you what the state notebook looks like, and you can use those pages to record this, or you could do what I've done and you could try to combine two in one. So what I'm going to do, day one, again, the questions, the mapping, and then we'll come to this paper. My son is going to do the map work on this page, and then I think I'm going to have him start recording some of the trailblazing on here. I think what we're going to do is we're going to print off one of these as an example, and I'll put it in a sleeve protector or something so it becomes dry erase or something like that. But I'll put some of these things here as little reminders of things that he could choose to write about. He could choose to draw the state flower or the tree, some important events in the state's history, things like that. And he could then write them on here, okay? So kind of a mix between our own notebooking and a guided worksheet. And then that would be day one. So again, these warm-ups, the mapping, and then trailblazing. Then it says on day two, you would just do the 5-minute drills again and then finish your trailblazing projects. So on day two, we will do these questions here. And then if there is anything in here that he wanted to try and do, we can do that. But as far as our reading for day two, what we're going to do is this book here. So day one, we use this book to do the mapping. And there is actually quite a bit of information that they can use to find the state bird and the state tree and all that. So this is like our day one book, okay, to do the activities. Day two book is this here from Memoria Press. And this is, don't know much about the 50 states, and it's just 1 page per state. So this will be our reading for the second day, and my son can pick out whatever information he would like to record about the state on his map page for day two. So I may or may not print these off. We'll see how things start off, but I think I'm gonna start with just having him record those trailblazing things right here on the map pages that I printed off free online. If you download the student workbook, they do have the mapping pages and some notebooking pages there. I just thought I would save the money and print off the free maps and kind of use those. So that's what we plan to do for day two. When we get to day three, we will get to a new state, Massachusetts, okay? And we will start the process over again. We will do day one, the questions. Well, I can show you on here, I guess. We can do day one, the questions. The main questions will actually be here on day three. Day two, we will do the questions here, okay? And the mapping and the trailblazing as I described before, okay? So that is our 4-day week. On the 5th day, if you watched my Friday Fun Basket, we plan to get out these flashcards and our recipe book and bake. So that's what we plan to do on day 5, okay? So that's 1 week of using this, but let me pull in something else because this is super cool. So one of the things I plan to do on those review weeks is bring out our knotgrass and kind of review the events surrounding the adoption of the states in that region. And what I found so interesting, I absolutely loved this. When you're flipping through Knotgrass, look what's here, you guys. Can you see this? They tell you right in here in this timeline when states were adopted into the Union, when they became a state, and it shows you things that are happening in history right along with that. So this is going to be a fantastic resource to tie our study of geography into history, this timeline here. And then we can go to our book here and open up and read about those events that we saw in here. We can come to our book and read about those events in here and kind of go through some additional activities over here. So this will come in during our regional review weeks, unless there is something that I just want to stop on and read it like right when we talk about that state. Probably though, these will come in during those regional review weeks, and then when we finish all together, because even with doing the 2 states a week for 25 weeks and then the 7 weeks, that's 32 weeks of plans. So that gives me a little bit of wiggle room to kind of maybe take longer on some things, or if, we get sick and get a little bit behind in things. But then that also allows me to spend more time here doing some of these activities. So we might end up just finishing off the year. If we finish up everything in those 32 weeks, we might just finish our last 4 weeks just finishing up with Knotgrass and just finishing out the year that way. So that is our plan. I'll bring everything back in here so you can see it all again. That is our plan for, oops, I'm kind of not all fitting in here, but that is our plan for how we will do geography every day in 3rd grade. We have lots of things in our Fun Friday basket related to geography, so make sure you check out that video. I've got some fun state maps, and this is in there, the cookbook's in there. So our Fun Fridays are going to kind of be varied, and I don't really have a set plan for those, but these ones here, or this plan here that I shared with you, this will be our more steady week by week plan for U.S. geography. Let me know in the comments below what you do, and maybe some things that we might like to pull in. I'm fairly happy with this plan, but I always love hearing from other homeschool moms and know I can learn from you. So I'd love to hear down below what you do for U.S. geography, and I will have links to the Memorial Press items, the GeoMatters, and the Knotgrass. You can actually get this through GeoMatters as well. A couple of the links are affiliate links, but they don't add anything to your purchase. They just provide some benefit to me, which is helpful because these videos do take time to make, and it is helpful to be able to tell my husband that it's helping us fund our homeschool. So if you would use those links, I would appreciate it, but by no means does it add anything extra to your purchase. I wouldn't share it if that was the case. So those links will be below where you can find all this, and I will definitely give you a mid-year check-in to let you know how this plan is going for us, and if we've changed anything up or if we've been able to pretty much keep this plan as is. All right, everyone, take care, and I'll see you in the next video.